What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog. Another fun video for you guys. This one, we take a look at a sweet Golgari list. It's kind of a troll tribal. So obviously we're going to be running things like Feasting Troll King and Clackbridge Troll. But let's go over the deck. Starting at the 1-drop slot, we got the 4 Gilded Goose. Just a nice 0-2 defender against some of the more aggressive decks. Also gives us some ramp and fixes our mana for us, as we'd have some pretty intense mana cost higher up on the curve here. Running 2 Legion's Ends for some removal against those aggressive decks. We get to exile target creature an opponent controls with converted mana cost 2 or less, and all other creatures that player controls with the same name as that creature. So if our opponent gets 2 or 3 creatures of the same name, we get to exile them, not only from the battlefield, but also if they're holding any of those creatures in their hand as well. That player reveals their hand and exiles all cards with that name from their hand and graveyard. So we also get to peek at their hand and see what else they're up to. You're running 4 Mire Tritons, just a nice 2-1 Death Toucher. When it enters the battlefield, we put the top 2 cards of our library into our graveyard and we gain 2 life. So the Feasting Troll King, as we're about to see, does have some recursion, so we don't mind milling that. And we also want to fill up our graveyard for one of our other trolls that wants cards in our graveyard. And so just having a 2 powered creature with Death Touch and a little bit of life gain fills our graveyard as well, so some pretty sweet synergy. And our first troll here is Barkhide Troll, green for a 2-2 that enters with a +1/+1 counter on it. And if we have mana open, we can pay 1 to remove a +1/+1 counter on it to give it hexproof until end of turn. So it's nice, hard to deal with threat. Basically a 3/3 for 2 mana. And we're also looking at the Curious Pair. It's a 1/3 for 1 and a green. So not really great, but again, we're just trying to build around the higher curve trolls. So that's how we're going to close out the games. So just having 1/3 that can kind of block and hold down the fort until we get there is really all we need. And we can pay 1 green at sorcery speed to create a food token. Those we do have some food synergy in our deck. So Charnel Troll is a 3 mana 4/4 with trample. So that's pretty powerful. What's the downside? Well, at the beginning of your upkeep, we exile a creature card from our graveyard. If we do, with a +1/+1 counter on Charnel Troll, otherwise sacrifice it. So you have to fill up your graveyard. That's why we want Mire Triton and things like that. Even Curious Pair, just playing it down and then letting it die in combat. Just any way we can to kind of fill up our graveyard. And if we don't, or if we're running out of creatures in our graveyard, it does have a sweet activated ability. We can play green and black. Discard a creature card to put a +1/+1 counter on it. So you're putting additional counters on it. You're getting the creature card in the graveyard, which you can then exile during your upkeep and continue putting +1 counters on it. So just a 3 of, so we're not all in on this sort of graveyard synergy, but obviously a 4/4 trample that just grows turn after turn is pretty powerful. And it's a troll. So 3 Savvy Hunters. It's another 3, 1 green and black for a 3/3. Whenever it attacks or blocks, we create a food token. So that's more of that food synergy. And then the sweet card advantage is we can sacrifice 2 foods to draw a card. So that will come in handy in certain situations. Bake into a Pie is our 4 mana removal spell, instant speed, 2 black. We destroy target creature and create a food token. So not the best removal, but having instant speed removal is always good. And then we do have the food synergy going on, so that'll be important. 4 of the Fierce Witchstalkers. So it's a 4/4 for 4, 2 green. Trample is a pretty sweet ability, and when it enters, we create a food token. So yeah, more of that food synergy. You're about to see the payoff here. Clackbridge Troll, 3 black for an 8/8 trample haste. Wow, that's pretty powerful. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent creates 3/0/1 white goat creature tokens. At the beginning of combat on your turn, any opponent may sacrifice a creature. If a player does, tap Clackbridge Troll, you gain 3 life and you draw a card. So there's a downside, is they can just sacrifice one of those goat tokens you just gave them when entered, and it taps down the Troll, so it can't attack in. But we do gain 3 life, and we do get to draw a card. And it's not legendary, so we can have multiples of these out on the battlefield. And that's part of the reason why we're running Legions in, is we can just untap with it on the following turn, exile their goat tokens. Now they have to sacrifice one of their actual creatures that they've played. Probably something they don't want to lose if they don't want us to attack them with a Clackbridge Troll. Otherwise, they have to sacrifice something. And now our big food payoff is the Feasting Troll King. So that's part of that intensive mana cost, 2 and 4 green. We'll get a 7/6 Vigilance Trample. When Feasting Troll King enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, we get to create 3 more food tokens. And here's the recursive part. We sacrifice 3 food tokens to return Feasting Troll King from our graveyard to the battlefield. However, we can only do this on our turn. But that's still pretty powerful, just being able to play it turn after turn. If our opponent is holding up a bunch of removal, sweepers, things like that, we'll just keep getting it back. And we have enough food synergy that we'll definitely be able to do this. And so going over the mana base, we do need a good amount of fixing. So we're running 5 swamps, 7 forests, 2 gingerbread cabins. We do get to create a food token if we have 3 or more other forests in play. So that's why just a 2, and even 2 might be stretching it a little bit, but we do want the food synergy as much as possible. 4 Overgrown Tomb, just a 2 Temple of Malady, because we want to try to play on curve as much as possible. And then 4 Fabled Passage, so we can get whatever green or black source that we might be lacking, since we do have the 4 green, 2 black, 2 green, things like that. So we will need some fixing in the mid to late game. And going over the sideboard real quick, against the really aggressive decks, we got a couple of Disfigures, and we also got 3 Chainweb Aracnirs, which also work really well against any flyer deck, you know, like the blue-white flyers, which people still like to run. Just a nice 1/2 with reach for 1 mana. When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature with flying and opponent controls. So, powerful way to pick off a Healer's Hawk, Spectral Sailor, things like that. And then the escape mechanic is pretty sweet. 3 green green, exile 4 other cards from our graveyard, and then it escapes with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. And then it still has its enter the battlefield trigger, where we can basically deal damage to a flyer. And against those mid-range and control decks, we're going to run 3 Agonizing Remorse, as we have to look at our opponent's hand, choose a non-land card from it, or even from their graveyard, and exile that card. And we do lose 1 life. 2 Liliana's Triumph. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. This is to get around any sort of hexproof shenanigans, such as a Dream Trawler or a Paradise Druid with the Sentinel's Eyes, which people love to do. 3 Destiny Spinners. It's basically just in here for the creature and enchantment spells you control can't be countered. It does have the activated ability where we can turn one of our land to an XX elemental creature token with trample and haste. We're not running a ton of enchantments, so I'm not going to get a ton of value out of this. It's mostly just a nice 2/3 body that makes sure that we can successfully resolve the rest of our trolls. And then for some exile removal, we're going to run 2 Eat to Extinction. At instant speed, we can exile a creature or a planeswalker. And then the nice little bonus, basically surveil, look at the top card of our library, and we can put that card into our graveyard. Alright, that's the deck. Let's jump into some best of 3. Oh, the season ended. I really did not play a whole lot of ranked. Not playing much ranked the last few weeks. We are up against MJ Mike. We get to go first. Okay. 4 lands, a little heavy. We do have the Scryland. We can play the Mire Triton or the Barkhide Troll on turn 2. And go from there. Kind of scry away any lands, probably. 4 is plenty for now. And we'll probably just draw one anyway. Okay, up against mono red, it's like Cavalcade. So probably want to hold up mana to protect our Barkhide Troll, so we'll save that for next turn. Legion's End would have been nice, because decent chance they have more than 1 Scorch Spitter. Or could be used on a Steamkin or something like that. Okay, Bone Crusher Giant, sure. So we We gain the 2 life off of off the Mire Triton, so we're back to 20. And we'll hold up mana to protect our troll. If they want to attack in, we'll make some blocks, especially now that they're tapped out. Another one. Okay. I think I'm fine with just playing another one. And the tomb tapped, and we still have 1 mana open to protect at least one of our trolls, and the next turn we can shock in for the Clackbridge Troll. And start beating them down with our big trample. Okay, they do have plenty of sacrifice fodder if they want to do that. That works for us as well. We get to gain some life and clear their board, so I think either way we're in a good spot. Obviously they find a Cavalcade of Calamity. That changes things a little bit, but I think we're still in decent shape. So they could have Ember Cleave, things like that. And if so, the most likely do equip their Fervent Champion, so let's get rid of these Scorch Spitters. Ember Cleave to nobody's surprise. Okay, so they lose their Scorch Spitter, but they kill one of our trolls. Sure. We're still at 16. Charnel Troll, sure. Plenty of fodder for that. We'll save it. Just want to get this Clackbridge Troll online ASAP. I think we'll save the Barkhide Troll for defense. Okay, and they choose to sacrifice, so we get some life back. So next turn we can get our Charnel Troll down and our Gilded Goose. And we can jump block all day with our Goose. I think we'll just take it. We have some life gain coming back, so I think we're okay for now. Let's see if they want to sacrifice another goat. Yep. Gain some more life, draw some more cards. At this point, I think we just want to empty our hand. So I'm fine with not having mana open to protect our Barkhide Trolls, since we do have the Charnel Trolls, and we can jump block with the Gilded Goose. It's not too important to keep our Goose online. It's going to be a little slow for using it to create food and gain life against these guys. Attack all, 1 mana open, or excuse me, 2 mana open thanks to Heraldic Banner. Let's see. I think we'll take the chump blocks and see what they have. They have something. Otherwise, wouldn't have attacked all. Though they are mono red players, so it's not giving too much credit. Rimrock Knight, okay. So they still lose a couple of their creatures. Clackbridge Troll is still up here gaining us life. We got plenty of fodder to build our Charnel Troll. Okay, let's go to combat before they see what we have. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with attacking. And if they want to block with the Bone Crusher Giant, then we will activate. Nope. Okay. Yeah, fine with just playing our hand. Okay, we're in a decent spot here. We're running out of things to sacrifice. I'm guessing they'll sack the Rimrock Knight on their next turn for the Clackbridge Troll. Okay, like a true mono red player, they're just going to keep attacking. Alright, we'll take those blocks. Okay, we get the Fervent Champion off the board. Prevent 5 from the Bone Crusher Giant. They will get the Ember Cleave, the Giant. Do have a good amount of life gain coming though, so that's fine. See if they choose to sacrifice here. Well, we do need to put this game out of reach. Want any chance of victory, we do need to attack. So the Gilded Goose can soak up some damage. And we've got 3 food tokens to gain some life back. Sacrifice. Oops. And, so they're hitting us for 12. Gain some more life. We'll sack you as well. Meant to activate the Gilded Goose, but I hit Resolve All instead, so that's unfortunate. Okay, see if they want to make another move here for our Clackbridge Troll, if they're just going to let us attack. Because we do have Trample. So we will gain life. Perfect. Well, we can discard the goose and get in for 8, but that doesn't really do enough. Get a food off of that, and we get a food off of that. Up to 18. We can soak up 2 points of damage, and that's it. Good game. Thanks for playing Mono Red. Always happy to see an unranked play. Go to combat. Let them sacrifice. And the Charnel Troll still has Trample. They're expecting Embercleave to save them there with a double strike, but hey, Trample still works. So now they get to go first, so of course they'll probably win because that's how it goes with Mono Red. So we do want to shave off some of our top end here. Just be as low to the ground as possible. Bacon to apply is a little slow. Maybe we'll shave a goose and a curious pair. So we just get a little bit of removal, although sacrifice isn't really great against what they're trying to do. I mean, maybe we just want like... let's shave off a couple here. Let's leave in some instant speed interaction for Annex or Torbrand. So Mono Red playing first, so they'll probably win, but we can at least see what other tricks they have up their sleeve. love this hand, but if we find another land, we're in good shape. So we got a nice chump blocker down, but sure they have plenty of burn. Double Fervent Champion. So now we have to block next turn, I think. Scorch Spitter. Yeah. Fervent Champion's just pretty hard to deal with. And without that second land to Legion's End it, then there's not really much we can do. Probably shouldn't have kept that hand, but I guess I wasn't really expecting the victory against Mono Red on the play. But now that we're back on the, on the draw, but now that we're on the play, I think we're okay. I mean, Mono Red's one of the top decks in Standard right now, and it has been for some time, even this current iteration. You know, kind of sucks to face that against unranked play, but of course, that's just what people want to play. Kind of like if you're going to play a top deck, then just play ranked and take your beats like everybody else. You know, people want to play random stuff in unranked play, and then you're just kind of bullying people with a top deck. Doesn't really feel very good. We get our black source with Fabled Passage. We just have the turn 3 Savvy Hunter. No turn 1 from them this time, so that's outstanding. We do need to start finding some stuff. Waiting until turn 3 is just a little bit too slow. So 1-2 will do. Next one we got the Savvy Hunter, and hopefully we can curve out into these Fierce Witchstalkers. Okay, they just want to bone crush the spider, it's no problem. Now we got a 3-3 that'll get some food tokens for us, unless they have more interaction, like a Scorching Dragonfire or something like that. Steamkin, okay, so saving the Bone Crusher Giant. We got our second black source. Let's attack first and see what they do. We have to deal with Steamkin. And we'll probably just sack the food for some life. We got Eat to Extinction, depending on what they play. Gilbrand, yep, that's what we want to eat. So let's not waste any time, let's just get rid of that. See if we attack in. Clackbridge Troll with 5 mana, seems pretty good. Get some more food. So we're in a decent spot. Taking the chump block, okay. Just one less creature we have to worry about. They will get goat tokens with the Clackbridge Troll. Let's see if they have anything else. Nope. I'm guessing they're just holding up 1 or 2 Ember Cleaves. Okay, fine if they want to jump block here. Or trade, I should say, with the Bone Crusher Giant, or make a jump block with the goat. Either way, I think we're okay. 26 life, 2 food tokens. We got these 4/4s ready. I think we're in a decent spot. And we can also sacrifice them to draw a card. Now that we have 2 food tokens. They're going to hit us for a bunch of damage here. Looks like we're in escape range. Oh, Ember Cleave. Wow. There it is. Just being cute. Very funny, Mono Red. You're hilarious. Oops. Leave it to Mono Red players to be trolls. Okay, we'll attack in. So we'll grab a forest, I guess. We'll just Savvy Hunter. So a decent spot. Probably draw some cards here. Crack a couple of food tokens to draw some cards. Take the one from the Fervent Champion. We'll try to deal with this Bone Crusher Giant if we can. I guess they have a Rimrock Knight. Yep, on the Fervent Champion. Okay. Fine with taking 3. And we get to deal with their Giant. Sure, a couple 1/1s that can't block. And a 3/1 that can't block. Find some removal. Nope. Okay. Get our combat first. Let him sack a 1/1. Draw a card. So let's get our 4/4 down. Make another food token. And probably just the Charnel Troll. And pass. So not in a great spot, but we're doing okay. Got to be careful of this annex, of course. Electro Dominance in a mono red list. Okay, that's the first time I've seen that. I don't get it at all, but okay. Cool. Take the 12 off Annex. We have the food tokens to get some life back. Draw some more cards. Okay. Mire Triton. Yeah, let's leave with that. We'll gain 2 life. Let's go to combat. See what they do. Okay, we can escape. Or we can play some more other creatures. I'm fine with escape. 1, 2, 3. So we can find a non-creature here. There we go. Save it. Save the creature just in case you find a Charnel Troll. Alright. So Goblin Banneret, that's no problem. And a Rimrock Knight, they can't block. Okay, so now they're at 7 power. They can attack in, but their life is getting pretty low. We have to block though because of the double strike. We have to block both. Just try to soak up as much damage as possible. Got us down to 5. Looking for some exile removal for this Annex. Okay, see if they sacrifice their Banneret or Rimrock Knight. They activated the Banneret. Maybe that was a mistake because they wanted to sacrifice it. Well, the Rimrock Knight can't block. There you go. We just disfigure it. Doesn't do anything for the toughness. And now we got lethal. 7 power coming at you. Let's gain some life. Alright. Taking down the mighty, evil, mono red. Trying to bully people in unranked play. Alright. There you guys have it. Feasting Troll King. And Clackbridge Troll leading the way. Obviously the Clackbridge Troll gained us some life and drawing cards, was huge there against mono red, even with the Ember Cleave and things like that. And the Savvy Hunter was putting in a bunch of work as well. So yeah, pretty fun deck. Hope you guys give it a try, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Alright, don't forget to like and subscribe.